Hey guys, welcome to Module 2 of Finding Jobs. And in this module, we are going to teach you all the tips and tricks you need to actually go find the job. You've got the resume done, right? Now, what do you do with that thing? How do we make that resume and turn it into interviews? And this is an action-packed module with a ton of great stuff. So let's get going. All right. There's two types of jobs out there, and we've talked about this before, but there's two types of jobs. There's the jobs that are advertised, and that makes up roughly 20% of the jobs that exist, and there's the jobs that aren't advertised. And we're going to go through some strategies that allow you to take advantage of both, okay? For the jobs that are advertised, there are three key sources to find jobs that are advertised. There's the company websites, there's the job boards, and there's the job aggregators. And we're going to focus on the job boards and the aggregators because the aggregators pull in 90-95% of the stuff that's posted on the company's job sites. Okay? So the three job sites that we're going to focus on, there's a lot more than this, guys, but we're going to focus on three because we can't be, you don't have an infinite amount of time to work on this. So we're going to focus on LinkedIn, which is a job board. We're going to focus on Indeed, which is both a job board and an aggregator, and we're going to focus on ZipRecruiter. And those three, just focusing on those three sites will cover roughly 95% of the jobs that are advertised. Okay, so you're going to be missing a couple, but you're going to have the vast majority of what you need. In addition, if you're in the tech space, so if you're a coder or software engineer, you might want to make sure you include Dice because that's very tech specific and they'll have jobs out there. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Quick Apply versus the company websites, because on a lot of these websites, you have the option to Quick Apply, where you literally just click one button and you're shooting it off, you've applied to the job, versus the company websites that are way more complicated. So the Quick Apply, it literally takes one click. Once you get to, I'm going to show you how to set this up in ZipRecruiter and Indeed and LinkedIn. Once you set this up, it literally takes one click and that's it. The problem with Quick Apply is that you're going to have 5 times as many resumes you're competing against, because if it only takes you one click and 1 second to apply for that job, it takes everybody else in the universe 1 second to apply for that job as well. So on the Quick Apply jobs, companies get inundated with resumes, okay? Versus the company websites that are more complicated, they take more work, but as a result of that, there's a lot less competition, okay? And so you're going to have a better success rate going to the company websites than you are with the Quick Apply. Now, identifying job titles to search for, because once you go to these websites, what are you looking for, right? Let's say we're going to go through an example today of, let's say you're a financial analyst, and what you want to do is when you look for potential job titles, you want to be as broad as possible, because one company might call that financial analyst, some other company might call it financial consultant. You never know. Companies, the job description, the job title names out there, they too do all kinds of different words, and so they make it really hard sometimes to find the job. So we got to be very broad when we search. But you always want to start with your functional area, whether you're in marketing or sales or operations or engineering. Start with your functional area. That's a good place to start. Then do some searching. Start looking through the job titles that pop up, and that will give you even more ideas of how you can then go look for even more jobs, okay? And then I want you to add those to your search string. Now let's talk a little bit about quality versus quantity, okay? You can apply to 1 million jobs, especially with the one-click jobs. You've got your resume set up, click, 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 and you just apply to 5 jobs, okay? We are going to focus on we recommend a quality strategy, and for a couple of reasons. There's a finite number of jobs and employers in your area. There just is. I don't care if you're in Los Angeles or New York. Those are much bigger cities and there's more jobs, but it's still a finite number. There's not an infinite number of companies out there. And so we want to make sure we maximize every single opportunity that we apply for. Remember, they get thousands of resumes, especially on the one-click stuff. Yours needs to stand out, okay? Now, how you can quickly customize your resume so we can take a quality approach as opposed to applying to everything. In the bullet point section of your competency area, right near the professional summary section of the resume, what we want to do is we want to list, let's say, the top 4 skills that you find in the qualification section of the job description. So let's say you're applying for a financial analyst position, and you find 3 or 4 key skills in the qualification section that look like they're important to them and also happen to match at least roughly what you have, then you want to put those, we'll just swap out your top 4 qualifications in your core competency section and put those skill sets. Okay, that's going to keyword stuff your resume, and it's going to get it through that computer filter so it actually gets read. Now, don't lie. You're going to need to defend these in the interview stage, so I want to make certain you're not over-exaggerating what your skill sets are. But a lot of these are things, very simple things that you probably have, you just don't have in your resume. So by looking at the qualification section on the job description, you can pull off the key things they're looking for and make certain it's in your resume so it gets through that computer filter. Using this approach, guys, will triple your success rate when applying online, I promise you. Now, on the company websites, when you're filling out the application, and this can be cumbersome, guys, okay? So there's a whole bunch of fields and your resume doesn't parse in correctly. Just put C resume, right? Don't waste your time with filling out every little detail on their application process, right? You can't spend hours on one application. You still want to get volume going here. So if there's areas where it's like it's too cumbersome, just put C resume there, okay? And understand, only 50% of people actually complete the application process. That's it. And so if you even complete the application, you're ahead of way more people. And in addition, we talked earlier about in the income section, like we don't want to tell them what we make right now because that's going to affect our negotiation in some of the later modules. So in the income section, if they force you to put a number, just put $1. Okay? Don't put what your real income is because it's another business right now. We don't want them to know what your real income is. Don't use a PDF when uploading your resume. Okay, most applicant tracking systems won't be able to parse the information off a PDF, so upload it as a Word document preferably. That's the easiest for them to work with. And once again, this is going to really increase your success rate. Now, we're going to do some live action. I'm going to go into some examples now so we show you exactly what we're talking about. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, guys, I'm going to show you where to apply, like where you get set up on some of these websites. We're going to do Indeed and we're going to do ZipRecruiter. LinkedIn was covered pretty extensively in the previous module. We are going to do some little nuances here, but in ZipRecruiter, we want to make certain that we set up your account, okay? And it's not real clear here where to do it. I'm going to show you down here at the bottom of the screen under For Job Seekers. There's a Create Free Account tab, and we're going to click that, okay? And I'll show you what it looks like. Here you're going to put your name and your address. If you're going to create a job alert, we're going to talk about it in a minute. And then you want to upload your resume, okay? So it's really simple, but that's where you create your account on ZipRecruiter. In Indeed, here's the homepage for Indeed. You just go up here to sign in, okay? And that's going to pull you up, and you can see I've already got an account. But if you need to create an account right here, right there it is, okay? You just want to put your email address and your password in there, and you can sign up right there. Pretty simple. Don't use Facebook to sign in, guys. I don't want you to use your Facebook profiles. We don't want to be attaching your Facebook profiles to anything out there. Your LinkedIn profile is fine, but your Facebook profile, not so much. So that's where you create your Indeed and your ZipRecruiter accounts. Let's go into those accounts and see what they look like once you get inside. Okay, guys, when you get into ZipRecruiter, like once I've uploaded my resume, and we'll go into that section in a minute here, you can see that here's all the jobs, right? These are coming up, suggested jobs for me. I'm going to close this here. Right? You get all these jobs up there, okay? And now I can go do a search. But you can see, remember I mentioned the one-click apply right there. You just hit that, and your resume is off to the employer. It's really slick and really easy. Unfortunately, it also makes it very easy for your competitors. So let's go look for financial analyst. In Houston, let's say. Okay, and you're going to see here's some stuff that's just posted, some quick apply stuff, has salary, etc., and here you get all job results right down here. And what you'll see here, guys, and similar on Indeed, is all these different jobs that come up, right? A bunch of them. I'm just going to click through some here. You can see in this one, for example, this is a one-click apply. So I can one-click apply for that job. Everything else you'll see is coming in from somewhere else because ZipRecruiter is an aggregator. This was posted on StartWire. This is posted on the web. This is posted on Beyond. This is posted on the web. And you'll see if I hit one of these things, right, it's going to take me usually prior to their website. So this is their website. Now I got to go apply on their website. Now, this can be cumbersome. It can be a pain in the butt to apply on these things, but your competitors aren't gonna. They get way less applications here than they do through the quick apply stuff. So if you go through this extra effort to apply to these jobs, you're not competing against as many people. So you're gonna get a much better success rate in going into those. Okay. In addition, let's look at the resume section here on ZipRecruiter. Okay, so this is, when you get in your profile, this is under my resume tab, and you'll see that my resume is loaded up. It's an old resume, guys. But that's in here. But in addition to that, I can go create a zip resume. And what this does is it will put my resume into the database. So now my resume is searchable. We want to make sure we do that. So I'm going to click here. Okay, I'm going to decline here, but you can go accept, and that'll put you in the database. By hitting this accept button, it puts you in the database, guys. And that makes your resume searchable, which is what we ultimately want, guys. I'm going to get back out here because I'm not looking for a job. So I'm not putting my resume in the database. But what that does is it puts you in the database and makes you searchable. And we'll cover that in the Be Found section. But so you want to make sure you get your resume set up as soon as you set up these accounts, and even when you start searching for jobs. In addition to that, I want you to create job alerts as well. One of the things we found is that the quicker you get on a job, the better chance you have of getting an interview. And the reason is the longer a job is up, they get more and more resumes. Well, when they find what they're looking for, they're going to shut down the process. So if you get in first, or within that first couple hours, that resumes start coming in, then you've got a much better chance of getting your resume read and actually getting an interview. So what you want to do, we did the financial analyst piece, you want to create as many of these job alerts. Let's say it's financial analyst and financial advisor and whatever the various iterations are for your search. Create a job alert for every single one of those guys, and that way it'll show up in your inbox as soon as those jobs come open, and then you can apply right away, which is really, really important because it increases your success a lot. Okay, guys, so this is the same section for Indeed. I've got my resume private right now because I'm not looking for a job, but you want to make yours public. Same kind of deal here, guys. You want to make sure you get it loaded in parse so it's searchable. But in addition to that, down here on Indeed, they also have the skill section. Okay, and that, guys, that's an area we want to keyword stuff. If there are specific skills you've got, we want to keyword stuff the heck out of that because that'll bring your resume up in way more searches when recruiters are searching the database looking for people. Okay, so we want to make sure we get as many skills, like in financial analyst, maybe it's financial planning or budgeting or capital budgeting or Excel or whatever your skill sets are. Put as many of those as you can in here because that's just going to increase your chances of getting found when recruiters go look for you. Okay, now let's go do a quick search for jobs. I want to show you some nuances to this. So this is a search for financial analyst position. I'll show you how I did it. In Indeed here, I went and looked in the title for financial analyst. Looking in Houston, I hit the magic button, and there's 95 jobs in Houston. Okay, financial analyst. Now look at that same search in LinkedIn, and look what it comes back with. There's 341 jobs of financial analysts in LinkedIn and only 95 in Indeed. And this is the reason why, guys, we want to use multiple sites. For those of you who are just relying on Indeed to go find your jobs or Monster, you're missing a lot of jobs that are posted, guys. And that's why the combination of ZipRecruiter, Indeed, and LinkedIn we found to be the most powerful combination out there. And here's ZipRecruiter, guys. ZipRecruiter's got almost 3,000. Now, there's going to be a lot of junk in here, right? Because they're pulling all over the web, and what will happen is you're going to have some repetition. Because this is an aggregator, you might have the same job in here 10 different times. It's being posted on 10 different job sites out there. So this number up here is a little misleading. There aren't really 3,000 financial analyst jobs in Houston. It's probably somewhere between the 95 that are posted here and the 341 here, maybe more than that. That are advertised. Now, there'll be a lot of jobs that aren't advertised, but that are advertised, because here you've got like Lucas Group is a recruiting firm. You've got a lot of recruiting firms out here posting that are probably posting the exact same job that are all working on the same thing. But you want to make sure you take advantage of all of them and get your resume as many places as possible. That's why you want to use as many of these different services as you can. And once again, here in LinkedIn, here's a create a job alert. Once again, you need to create as many of these things as you can, okay? And you want it daily. You don't want it weekly. You want to get notified as quickly as possible when a job comes available, because you want to be the first one in there, because if your resume is at the top of the pile, it's a lot easier to break through, guys. I want to show you one more thing on Indeed, guys, where you'll see here. Remember, I talked about the quick apply on ZipRecruiter. On Indeed, it's got the same thing here. It's called Easily Apply, which means you can really just submit your resume you've uploaded. It's that simple. But once again, like, there's going to be a lot of competition for those jobs. So let's talk about, I want to go through really quickly one of these company posted jobs. The rest of these are taking you off site, right? Because Indeed's a job board and an aggregator as well. And so it's taking you off site. And so let's talk about what we do with those when we want to customize as much as we can. Okay, so in this example, this is a senior financial analyst position at this company here, this hospital in Houston. And you can see from the job description, right, they list the accountabilities and they list the qualifications. There's a couple quick key things we want to make sure that we grab, right? That they've trained and provides guidance to new financial analysts. We probably want to have a leadership piece on our core competencies. Other things they're looking for, guys, assist with the development of the annual budget. Right? That's something that we want to make certain we get in our core competencies as well, because they're probably looking for that. The CPA is preferred. If you've got a CPA, you want to make sure you include that in your core competencies, right? They give you all the clues in the job description here, guys, of what they're looking for. So we just want to make certain that we customize the resume, we give it right back to them. And note to do this doesn't take hours, guys. You take one resume and then you just fix a couple bullet points, save it with a different name, right? So you've got a code so you can identify what you sent in, and you submit that resume. It's really simple, but will dramatically increase your chances of getting through the black hole and actually getting through the computer so it gets read by a human being. Okay, so we've gone through the jobs that are advertised, and that's 20% of the market. And you need to spend some time on that, but your much more efficient time is spent on the jobs that are not advertised. And the reason for that is A, it's 80% of the market, and B, it can be way easier than applying to all that stuff online, okay? So jobs that aren't advertised, we've got two strategies we're going to use that we're going to allow us to take advantage of those jobs that aren't advertised. The first one is be found, and the second one is contacting hiring managers directly. So to be found, we've already covered the LinkedIn profile in the previous video. You want to make sure that is up to date. That is one of the main places people are going to look for candidates, even more so than the resume databases. So you want to make certain that you have got your LinkedIn profile per the previous video all ready to go. In addition to that, you want to post your resume to every resume site available. I've shown you a couple. I showed you ZipRecruiter. I showed you Indeed. Let's show you a few more you want to make certain you just upload your resume to. LinkedIn, you want to have your resume on your profile, right? Indeed, CareerBuilder, Monster, the ladders. Just don't sign up for their pay account, guys, but just get your resume posted, okay, so that recruiters can find it, and make certain it's got your contact information in as well. ZipRecruiter we talked about, Simply Hired, and then if you're in tech, you probably want to be on Dice as well. Get your resume posted to all these places. It doesn't take that long, and it's free, and it's another way that people can find you, okay? Now, the more proactive approach you're going to take is we're going to contact hiring managers directly. And here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to show you, first of all, how do you find hiring managers? Secondly, how do you find their email addresses? And then what do you put in the email when you contact them? Okay? So to find hiring managers, we're going to find them on LinkedIn. Okay? And in order to do that, you need to use the title field. And then I want you to search one step above you. If you're in finance or marketing, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But if you're just an individual contributor or an analyst, let's say, then you're looking for a manager. If you're a manager, you're probably looking for someone who's got director in their title. If you're a director, you're looking for someone who's got VP in their title. Those are most likely the hiring managers. You need to go a little more broadly than just putting your functional area in the title, though, because everybody's titles are so disparate, we want to make certain we grab as many people as we can. And I'll go through an example of that in a bit. So we want to use the functional search feature or the keyword search field to broaden our search. We get way more results that way. And remember, we're trying to make you go viral, so we want to be in as many places as we can. So, in order to do this, I'd recommend you get a premium LinkedIn account. They've got the lowest level is like $30 for a month. It's going to give you access to your third-degree contacts, guys. Now, if you've done a really good job of building your network already and you've gotten into a bunch of groups and you've got enough breadth within your local market, you don't have to do this. If you're getting access to enough people, you don't have to go get a premium account. If your LinkedIn profile, if you don't have a big enough network and you're not getting very many search results, then you might need to get a premium LinkedIn account. It really depends on how good you were at building that out, going to top LinkedIn, getting that built, and then joining as many relevant groups so you can expand your network in your local market so you can get access to hiring managers. If you've done a good job of that, you don't need the premium account. Okay, as I mentioned, using the title field. Now, once you find them, guys, you're going to need to find their email addresses. This is really important, and I've got some really good tricks for you that's going to help you do this. Okay? First of all, you can use Jigsaw to identify the domains for the company. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But here's a little trick you probably didn't realize. 45% of company email addresses are first.last at thecompanydomain.com. Okay? 40% of company email addresses are FLASH, so the first initial of their first name and their last name at companydomain.com. That'll cover 85% of the universe if you need to do this manually, okay? Now, manually is great, but I'd rather do it the automated way. And I'm going to show you a tool called Email Hunter that is going to automate this entire process, and it's going to make it so easy for you to find hiring managers and find their email addresses. In order to do that, you need to create an Outlook.com email address in order to sign up. Now, you can sign up here for this thing. A free account gets you 150 email addresses a month. If you sign up for the paid account, they've got a paid account that's $49 a month, and that gets you 1,000 contacts a month, which should be enough for you. And everything's downloaded in a spreadsheet. It makes it really simple. Okay, I'm going to go show you this real quick, and we're going to come back, and I'll show you what to put in the email. Okay, so here's the Email Hunter address. It's emailhunter.co. It's actually a French company. And, you can sign up for free. Right here's the button. It's really easy to sign for free. Note, you have to use a Gmail email address will not work for this, guys. They won't let you sign up. But an Outlook.com address will. And the good news is you can just go to Outlook.com, and you get a free email address. It's just like Yahoo or Gmail. It's a free email address, and go ahead and set one up here just for the sole purpose of getting Email Hunter, okay? So once you set this up, right, it'll create an account for you, and then you can use this in LinkedIn. Once you get it set up, you will download you want to do an extension in Chrome, and I'll show you that in a second, that you can use in LinkedIn to find email addresses. Okay, so if we go to the Chrome web store, guys, and you guys can just Google that and you'll find it out. And then just go look for Email Hunter. And I think actually once you sign up, you can download it right from their site too. But here it is. You download it then into your extension in Chrome. Okay. Once you've got that up and going, we're going to go into LinkedIn. I'm going to do a quick search, and you'll see here. So I'm looking in Houston. I'm looking for finance managers, and the way I set up my search is, let's say I'm looking for a financial analyst position. So I look for manager. That's what I'm going to put in my title. I'm going to go to my advanced search here real quick so you can show I can show you what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for manager and title. I'm looking in Houston. And I'm going to put the word finance in keywords. Okay, and watch what happens. When I do this, I get 22,000 results. Okay, now watch if I do this. If I just put finance and manager in the title, I only get 2,000 results. So I'm missing 20,000 people, once again, because the variation in titles is so vast that we want to go as broad as we can. So if you're looking for specific, I'd say type the function in the keyword and then the manager in the title. Now, a couple notes on that. If you want to get highly targeted, these are the highest likelihood of being hiring managers, so you might want to start here first. Once you exhaust this list, then you go to the keyword tool that I showed you, okay? Now, I mentioned that I've got the Email Hunter tool logged in. So I'm going to go into Jacob's, into his profile here, and note the Email Hunter button is now on my LinkedIn profile, okay? So I can just click that, and voila. There is his email address. It shows the confidence level that they have this email address is accurate. Right there, I've got it. It's fantastic. Okay? Now, let's say I don't want to go one by one. I just want to get it in bulk. Well, they've got a tool for that as well. As you can see here in the search result, and in LinkedIn you get 10 people per page, you can individually manually check these one at a time, and they're adding them to my list. Okay? Or if I want, I can just select the whole page. So I did my search for finance manager, 10 people came up. This is how easy it is, guys, to find email addresses. I just hit this button, and it's loading it up. And all that's getting saved in my Email Hunter account. Okay? I'm going to wait for those loading to be done here. Took just a second. And now that's done, I'll just go to the next page. Okay? There they are again. I'll hit select all again. And load them again. That's how easy it is to find email addresses using Email Hunter. Now let me go into my account and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm now in my Email Hunter account. I'm going to go to my leads section, and there's all the people I just downloaded. There's their name, there's their company, there's their email address, and watch this. I can just download a CSV. Okay, so it downloads into an Excel spreadsheet. I open that up. And look what I get. I get first name, last name. I get their position, the name of their company, industry I don't care too much about, their email address I do care about, confidence level and how likelihood the accuracy of the email is going to be, and then some other stuff like the website, a link to their LinkedIn profile, everything in this one sheet. And now I can use this to go email them one at a time. Really, really simply, guys. It's so easy. And so with these tools, I just found 20 hiring managers. How long did that take me? A minute? 30 seconds? Not even that, guys. This is really, really powerful for you to go find hiring managers. Now, if you need to do it manually, guys, that's going to take a little more time. You can go person by person. I believe in doing it in volume, guys. It's just a lot easier. So if I was doing this manually, what I would do is I'm going to copy Nicole's information here, like this. I'll copy your name. I'm going to bring a spreadsheet over here. Right, so there's Nicole's name. I want to paste, it gets a little more complicated because links, I want to place special values. Okay, and then I'm going to grab her title. Okay, so that's a little cumbersome, and unfortunately, if you look at the search results here, the companies aren't really easy to grab. In this case, it's a lot easier if I go one by one. And I just open them all up in new tabs. So here I've got Nicole's stuff, so I will copy Nicole's name, put it in my spreadsheet. Well, once again, that gets all funky, so I'll do values. Okay, and then I will copy her title, which is right here. Well, once again, I got to do it as values. And then, of course, I got to get her company. Now, you can see how long that takes. It's not horrible, but it's a heck of a lot longer than the other thing, because I don't even have an email address yet. So once I get all these put together, how do I go find the email addresses? Well, I got to find their domain, first of all. Okay, and there's a couple ways that I can go do that. Okay, so we're going to go to find the domains, guys, and you can just guess. It was Shell, right? So we could guess shell.com. You could do that. If you want to be a little more specific, you go to what's called jigsaw.com. Now notice it changed this to connect.data. Jigsaw doesn't actually exist anymore. It redirects to here. And I'm already logged in. I'm going to show you what this looks like. So once you're logged in, you got to create an account. Okay, I'm going to go to advanced search. In this case, I'm going to go look for Shell, the company. Right, there they are. I can click on Shell, and they bring up a whole bunch of basic information, including domains. So these are all the domains that they're known to use. Shell.com, ShellUS.com, and STUSCO.com. So what you can do is you can grab these, and then you can construct your email addresses using the what I showed you. So you get all the information you need. It takes a lot longer, and this tool that I've showed you makes it much slicker, much simpler. You can literally download hundreds and hundreds of people within minutes and be emailing. Now that you get all that put together, what do we put in the email? We've identified the hiring managers. What do we send out? Well, here's what we're doing. And there's going to be a template down below that you can download, guys, that you can use. That works really well. We've tested it extensively. But the basic framework is you first introduce yourself. Then you tell them what you're looking for, and you ask for their help. This is really critical. Most people, when you ask them for help, you'd be shocked how many people are willing to go out of their way, even though they don't even know you, to connect you with the right person or help you try and find a job. It's amazing the amount of positive responses we get. You want to tell them you found them on LinkedIn, right? Everybody's like, how did you find my email address? You just tell them, I found you on LinkedIn. I was able to figure out your email address. You want to give them some bullet points from your accomplishment section of your resume highlighting your career. Okay, this is really important because you're not just, hey, will you find me a job? It's, hey, my name is Joe. I'm looking for a financial analyst position in Houston. I was wondering if you would be willing to help me. I found you on LinkedIn, and here's a couple highlights of my career. You know, I saved $1 million for company ABC. I identified this problem, whatever it was. I've got 3 or 4 or 5 really good bullet points. And then I close the email by asking for help and see if they know of any open positions. I close with basically, hey, do you have something? If you don't, do you know of somebody who does? I'd really appreciate your help. It's really important that you stress this. The other thing to keep in mind is that we keep the email short. You don't want to send out a long email. People get 100 of these things, 200 of these a day. They're not going to read them all. Make it really clean and simple and easy for them to read it and digest it. You also want to make darn certain you include your phone number and email address in the signature of your email. Make it easy for them to contact you, and be sure to attach your resume. You don't want to make that mistake. You got to send your resume as well. Okay? Now, once you do that, you're going to get two types of replies. One is the not helpful reply, and one is the other kind is the helpful reply. The not helpful replies will come in a couple of formats. The first one will be, you'll get a number of people say, oh, here, sure, Joe, check out our company website. Gosh, how helpful. I wish I would have thought of that. You'll get a lot of those. Some will give you advice on your resume and tell you how horrible your resume is, because everybody has some advice to give. 1% of them will not be nice at all. You've got to prepare yourself that there's just a certain percent of people in this world who are not nice. If they write something naughty back or nasty back that says, I can't believe your email won't work, blah, 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 let it roll off your back, and just file it away. If you send out enough emails, you're going to get some that aren't so nice. But the vast majority, 99% of them, are going to be exceptionally positive and really, really helpful. Another one you'll get is you've contacted the wrong person, or they don't make hiring decisions. With the not helpful replies, you simply want to write them back and thank them for their help. Really simple, one sentence email back, and then just file them away in a folder that's not helpful. They're the wrong person. They're not going to help us. Okay. The helpful replies, that's only about 1%. And those people usually, they either have an opening, they refer you to a specific person within the company, like Frank over in HR, or John's got a position, or whatever. They don't have an opening, but they know of an opening that's coming up soon, or they don't have anything, but they have a friend in another company. One of the cool things about this process, guys, and this strategy is that you go viral. Once you get your resume out there, even if it's not the person you emailed, your resume starts bouncing around the universe, and you can get a job that way. It's amazing. This works with all of my clients, guys. Everybody I've worked with one-on-one, we do this. Every single client one-on-one has gotten a job using our process. So this works. Now, only 1% are going to be helpful, right? And that is challenging. Okay, it's a numbers game, and you got to remember that it is a numbers game. So only about 1% are helpful, and understand that even with good guessing on email addresses, you're still going to have roughly a 50% bounce rate. Even with the email hunter tool, they might do a little bit better than 50%. Maybe they got a 30% bounce rate, but it's just people move, their LinkedIn profiles aren't updated, the names are wrong, they're spelt wrong. It could be a million things that lead to wrong email addresses. You're still going to have a 30 to 50% bounce rate. That means that you need to send 200 emails to get one helpful reply. This is a volume game, guys. You should target to send between 1,000 and 2,000 emails for your job search. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. I showed you using the email hunter tool how quickly you can get email addresses. I can literally, I go create a search, I can literally get 1,000 email addresses in like 15 minutes. That's all it takes. Literally, that's all it takes. And then to go email, it's very, very simple. Is that, I can create a spreadsheet, right, that'll track all my activity. I want to email no more than 2 people at a company at any given time, because you don't want to hit 50 people at the same company that you're going to tick some people off, okay? And then I just create an email template and I save it. Once I get that template I just gave you, the format of what we write to them, you just keep that in a Word document, guys, and you just copy and paste it, change the first name and the email address, and hit send. That's it. That's all you need to do. You can do that. How fast can you do that? Like, you can do that, one every 30 seconds? It doesn't take long. So to send 1,000 emails using this system is very, very, very simple. It's very, very easy. It does not require, if you put in 15 minutes a day doing this, guys, within 2 weeks you'll have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails out there. It is not hard. Now, a couple notes. No more than 200 emails per day in Gmail. Gmail will throttle your account at a certain point. And by the way, on new accounts, inevitably you'll get a pause. There'll come a point you start sending and like emails aren't going out. They put a pause for like 6 or 8 hours. Don't freak out, guys. It happens with every account we set up. After the 6 or 8 hours go by, the pause is lifted and you're fine. So don't worry about that. But you want to cap your emails at about 200 a day. I think their limit's like 300 to 400. They don't actually publish it, but you don't want to go over. So about 200 emails a day is what I would restrict yourself, because you want to make sure you've got capacity to reply to people once they're writing back to you. Oh, one other note that I did not cover, and that is in the what to put in the email. Let me go back here. One thing I forgot to put on this slide is in the subject line. What you want to put in the subject line is the word resume. We have tested this. It by far has the highest open rate of anything we can put in that subject line. You'll get a 25% open rate, which, by the way, in email marketing terms is astronomical. Most email marketing has like a 1% open rate if you're lucky. So put the word resume in your subject line when you send off your resumes, okay? That is it, guys. Lots of good stuff here. You should have everything you need now to go out and take that resume and find jobs and get interviews. I will see you in the interview module. Happy hunting, guys.